I really wanted to talk about how I have found that in my experiences, this is speaking from my experience and also looking at the data objectively. Essentially, Canada is actually more racist than America. I know it sounds weird, right? But just just hang in there with me. So, what I have found is that Canada has this sort of um, snobbish, turn your nose up to passive aggressive um, attitude towards Black people and towards what it is that they should they feel is their responsibility. So because um, Canada as a nation never ever, had, colonies and colonies of slaves, of Black slaves, because Canada never ever had any, lynching, Jim Crow, all of that stuff that we know historically happened in America. They look at it like, we never enslaved you. That was the Americans. The only people we owe anything to is the indigenous. So, but what that actually does is it creates an environment where the Black community in Canada, let's just say in Ontario, in Toronto, let's just call it that, in the GTA, they literally don't have a strong concern for the Black plight because we haven't been educated about the Black plight from a Canadian perspective, from an American perspective. It doesn't really matter. And actually, we've been educated it from an American perspective, and it's been taught to us like, oh, that's what they did. We never did that. As a matter of fact, we welcomed runaway slaves through the Underground Railroad. And so you should be thankful. They give off a certain attitude. It's an undertone and it's a framing. It's not direct. And what I always say is that, like, I would take Trump, not today's Trump, because today's Trump has gone blue, but I will take Trump over Hillary. Trump will tell you to your face, bro, I'm racist. I hate you people. Get out of here. Meanwhile, Hillary will be like, oh my God, I love you people. You're amazing. Get these fucking people out of my face, please. That's literally Hillary. I don't want somebody who is gonna la-di-da with me in front of my face and then behind my back they're actually plotting and scheming against me and my people. That's not what I'm in for. I'd rather Trump. I'd rather someone just tell me straight up. And that's the difference between America and Canada. Canada is Hillary. They play in your face like they like you, but they're worse than Americans. And the reason why they're really worse than Americans is because technically, when you think about it, in America, literally, there is no white, no Caucasian without Black and Indigenous. There is no white without Black there. Their whole existence is predicated on us. And so, with that, Canada feels self-righteous. And so it actually treats the Black people here in that way, where they only care about the indigenous to that extent, to the extent that Americans care about. And it's not even to say care, but there's this knowing that they owe them shit. And here they deny. So that Canadian self-righteousness of feeling like, oh, we would never enslave Black people, so we don't owe you shit. In It bleeds out in the politics. It bleeds out in the socio-economic fabric of the culture here in Toronto and the GTA. And so what I find is, let's say a woman like me who came from the hood and worked their way up to the level of university and then working in the government, is actually so uncommon here because there's one of two types of Black women here. And actually, there's a few different types of Black women here. But the archetype that I represent, I'm in my own lane. But there's tons of me in America.